Alright, welcome back to the channel, ladies and gents. Today's video is going to be covering the original trilogy heroes, and in Battlefront 2, two of those have already been covered in our Clone Wars heroes, so I am going to still go over them again. However, there's going to be timestamps in the description, so if you've already seen that previous video discussing those heroes, I'm not going to be giving any new information. However, they are playable heroes in this era, so keep that in mind for which hero you decide to play as and become your main. Anyway, let's get into the video. So to start the video off, we've got Yoda. He has a passive ability like most heroes of health on elimination, and his three abilities are Unleash, Presence, and Dash Attack. You can pause that if you need to read the descriptions for each, but I'm going to continue to talk about them. So Unleash is kind of a mixture between Luke's little push off ability, force push, and I guess an absorption thing. Well, when you're blocking as Yoda, he pulls up this little ball of light. You all saw it in the movies. He absorbed Palpatine's lightning, which is super dope, and then he used it back on him. Well, it's kind of similar to that. You won't absorb lightning or blaster fire or anything like that, but you will prevent it from hitting you with that little blue circle, and while you're holding that, your Unleash ability grows. So let's say you're taking damage from lightning or blaster fire, and you use that block. Everything that's going into that little blue ball is going to make your Unleash ability stronger and larger. So you can force push people away that are further away, and it will have more force, so it's more likely to one-hit kill them. The next ability we could talk about is Presence, and that makes Yoda a very great team-based player because it will heal Yoda, it'll give him some additional health, and it'll give all teammates in his proximity some additional health as well. So it makes it very great for team pushing in Galactic Assault, Supremacy, things like that. Yoda's final attack, I kind of blend with his Saber Strike. So just like a normal slash with his lightsaber, I combine that with the Dash Strike, and typically that will make it a lot easier to eliminate. You saw it right there where I slashed once with the saber and then I used a dash attack to quickly finish off the enemy. For some reason it just seems a little bit easier to me because it will take away that animation of his saber slash. For me, that animation is just a little bit slow and a little clunky. That is his character though, is very nimble and agile and he's jumping all over the place. But for me, I prefer to slash once with that weird animation and then dash attack to finish off that enemy. It just makes it easier to get on the go and become a harder target to hit. So that's going to do it for Yoda. Now let's move on to our next hero. Now with our next hero, Chewbacca, he has that passive ability like most heroes, and then he also has the three abilities: Shot Grenade, Furious Bowcaster, and Charge Slam. Now Chewbacca is a little different than when I first started playing this game. They've changed him in many ways since then, and I think they finally settled on this way. His Bowcaster has been changed to where if you aim down and fire, it now has an explosive round, and before he was very similar to the Wookiee Warrior. When you shot without aiming, it was just 3 horizontal dots and you would shoot 3 blasts like that. Or if you aimed, it would be 3 vertical dots and you would aim like that. Now if you do not aim, it is 3 dots in a triangular form, you see right there. It does a little bit less damage, it seems, if you are able to make contact with a trooper. But if you can aim well, Chewie is a great hero, and his Furious Bowcaster ability absolutely shreds heroes and enemy enforcers and aerials. Pretty much any enemy troop that is used with battle points. Like you need battle points to get that troop. He's good at shredding those characters. Another great feature of Chewbacca is if he's getting surrounded or if he needs to clear a room, his Charge Slam does a remarkable amount of damage. I think it does more now than it ever has, which makes it a useful tool. And then his final ability, the Shock Grenade, makes him again an excellent hero shredder, or I should say villain shredder. I'm not sure what happened there. It looked a little like that ability glitched, the charge slam. But if you combine his shot grenade with the furious bowcaster, which I didn't do there, but it will absolutely annihilate enemy heroes or enemy enforcers, things like that. I prefer using Chewbacca in heroes versus villains, so he's not typically my first pick when it comes to a hero on supremacy. So I will typically stick with saber heroes or maybe even Han as my blaster hero. So that is pretty much going to do it for Chewbacca, and let's move on to the next hero. Now for Han Solo, we've got that passive ability, Health on Elimination. Then his three main abilities, the Detonite Charge, the Sharpshooter, and the Shoulder Charge. Now, I really like this Detonite Charge. However, it does a whole lot more damage if you get the Airburst star card. Basically, it's like a... what's a grenade that explodes in midair? Don't know what that's called, but if you get that star card and you detonate his little grenade while it's in midair, before it attaches to any surface, you will do a whole lot more damage, and the chance of knocking an enemy down is much greater. So it makes him really great for eliminating heroes, or at least holding them back for a second so he can get a few shots off on them, making it more difficult for them to eliminate Han. Shoulder Charge is not only a great way to eliminate enemies, but it's also a great way to get away from enemies. I used to play with the star card that allowed you to take less oncoming damage when you were shoulder charging. I believe it's 30%. I'm not 100% sure now though, because the game has been tweaked so much. The last star card I enjoy using for Han is the blaster fire. So he builds less heat with his blaster. That star card works very well. The rest of them, they're good. It just needs to be a star card that fits your niche in the game. So we've got his shoulder charge, his detonite charge, onto his last ability, the sharpshooter. It basically just turns his gun into a faster firing weapon. I am now using that star card rather than the shoulder charge, the one that allows him to shoot that ability for more often. Like his bullets don't take away from it as fast. It's kind of like with the heavy using its sentry. The more you shoot, the faster it goes away. If you stop shooting, it goes away slower. That's the same thing with this star card, except it's for Han's pistol. So I enjoy that one, and I do get some good usage out of it. You do see me end up taking out Vader, partially because of that ability. I took away his stamina previously because he had to block all my shots. So even if you don't land any hits, man, is it good to help drain the stamina of a hero you may be fighting. So that's going to be it for Han. Let's move on. Okay, so Lando Calrissian has the passive ability of Health on Elimination. He's got a smoke grenade, which I personally find useless, especially if you're playing against AI, because smoke doesn't bother them at all. They will shoot right through it with perfect accuracy. The Sharp Shot ability, which is amazing, and the Disabler. So the star cards I prefer to use are the Sharp Shot, the one that extends its range, the Shock, where it allows the Disabler to shock enemies for longer if you detonate it within 5 seconds of attaching to a surface, which is not that hard to do. 5 seconds is longer than you think. For example, that seemed pretty long, didn't it? That was 5 seconds. Just like detonate that thing within that amount of time and you are good to go. The Sharp Shot ability is just, it's amazing. I can't say enough good things about that because you lock onto as many enemies as you prefer, like as many in your sight that you can lock onto, and then you fire. It's an instant kill. It doesn't matter what class. If you're a heavy, insta kill. I think the only ones that isn't an insta kill is heroes and enforcers. I'm pretty sure aerials, it is an insta kill. If not, it will nearly eliminate an aerial unit. But yeah, other than heroes and enforcers, I'm pretty sure it's an insta kill for every class. So that is a big bonus, and it's an easy way to get health back. So Lando is a great hero shredder because of that disabler. Sharp Shot makes him a great supremacy and galactic assault player. Basically what I'm trying to say is all around Lando is just a good choice. As long as you can just aim relatively, you don't even have to aim that well because you got sharp shot. You can just wait for that ability to charge up and you'll be good to go. The last star card I do want to mention is good to have for Lando is the one that extends his maximum health, brings him from 700 to 800. That is a massive help. Regardless of what game mode you are in, it is better to have more health. A, you have more to go off of, and B, it's just like it's something extra you can recharge, because health, you can get health back with every single hero one way or another. Bosk regenerates it on his own, but most heroes now have that passive ability of health on elimination. So at any point, go eliminate some enemies, and bam, you got more health. So the more the better. That's the way the game works now. So I think that is it for Lando. I don't believe I missed anything else. Let's move on. Now for Leia, who has been tweaked for the first time ever since launch. She is now a much better hero. She used to have a flash grenade, which just sucked. It did nothing, and at best, you flash someone good for about 10 seconds. They've replaced that with thermal detonators. Now she's got rapid fire and squad shield. She also has that passive ability, health on elimination. So now with the thermal detonators, she is a much more effective hero in pretty much every game mode. I can't think of one that makes her a worse hero in. So we've got the 3 grenades for the thermal detonators. You throw one and you've got 2 left. However, if you throw one, it will not start to recharge. You need to use all 3 of the detonators before it's... Now for her blaster fire, it is well, it's basically the E11, but it just fires very, very quickly. It makes it great for draining heroes' stamina. So if you have a Vader coming at you, which I did in this situation, he ran off, thank the Lord, but it's really great for that. It is easily blockable though, which is why I say it is good for eliminating their stamina and not for eliminating the hero, unless they're out of stamina or they cannot block it, or maybe they're a blaster hero and they can't block it like I said, then typically I will stay away from the E11. Now the squad shield I stay away from in heroes versus villains, but it is a great tool to use in Supremacy and Galactic Assault. She is just a fun hero to, I mean, if you stick with that shield and maneuver around it, you can get some pretty good kill streaks going. Now onto her actual blaster itself. It is I think it's a 2 burst or 3 burst. It is a burst fire pistol, and you basically, like I did there, you gotta spam it to get it to go pretty quick, which isn't a big deal. But she also has a cool alternative fire. If you hold the left trigger down, depending on which platform you're on. For PlayStation, it's L2. For Xbox, I'm sure it's LT. Left trigger, whatever. Hold down that left trigger. It's normally to aim in this game, but it will activate her alternative fire. It does take a moment to charge up. However, it is great against those heroes that are blocking with a lightsaber. So if Vader's coming at you and he's blocking and you can't hit him with a normal bullet, that bullet will explode on impact. So you just need to make contact with him. Maybe even shoot at his feet if you're not very confident in your aiming abilities. Other than that, I think that is it for Leia. She's a very acquired taste in this game. Like, once you figure out how to use her, she's great, but it did take me some time at first to learn how to use this hero. So we will now be moving on to our next hero. I know I've said best for last on a couple videos, but this is truly the very best for the last. So Luke Skywalker has the passive ability, Health on Elimination. He has the push that I've been referencing in previous videos, repulse, which is like push but in a circle around you, and then he's got rush. So let's get into Luke. Before I go any further though, I would like to mention his star cards. It's important that you pick at least 2 of these that I've picked. One of them, I think, Intensity is what it's called. Yeah. Basically, if I got that name wrong, it's the one that every time you eliminate an opponent, you get +2 damage to your lightsaber. So I think it goes up to a maximum of 36 extra damage, but that is a insta-kill for 3 of the classes: the Specialist, the Officer, and the Assault class troopers. That is a one-hit kill with that lightsaber. If you get on a, I think it's a 15 kill streak, 18 is the max. Like, once you get 18 kills on a kill streak, that is the most damage you will do with that lightsabers after that 18th kill. But I believe you only need 15 for it to become a one-hit kill for the Assault, Specialist, and Officer classes. Which, man, Luke is very, very good for that reason. Not that reason alone, but between his ability, all of his abilities, in my opinion, are aggressive. You go and attack. You don't really hold back pretty much the entire time you're playing as Luke, unless you're getting really close to death, which you shouldn't be. Then you can pretty much keep attacking as him the entire time, which makes him a very influential player in this game. Another thing that's worthy of noting is his health regeneration. I don't know if y'all were paying attention, but through this gameplay, you will see me take a whole bunch of damage, but I will regenerate that damage that I've taken and the health that I've lost very, very quickly. Look at that. I was avoiding the battle for maybe all of 3 seconds, and the health regenerated. Not only does the health start regenerating quicker, but like the timer from when it actually takes to regenerate, once it starts regenerating, it goes quick as can be. So now onto his abilities. The Force Push ability is pretty good. Depending on the situation, it can be an insta-kill, but at the very least, it does quite a bit of damage, and you can combine it with Repulse. So if you do a Repulse, which is that circle Force ability, then you can follow it up with a Force Push, and that will typically eliminate the enemies in your view. That last ability is his Saber Rush, which is, I mean, I feel it's unnecessary, because if you have that star card that's increasing the damage that your saber does, you see right there is an insta-kill. I just slashed once, and he died. But if you have that ability, the Saber Rush seems to be a bit of a downgrade. You can still use it as a means of movement, but for me, I much prefer the just normal lightsaber blast, like slashing once you've got that star card ability. So for me, my pick for this era is 100% Luke Skywalker. He's so easy to use. Stamina lasts forever, and it recharges wicked quick, just like his health. Everything about this hero is, I mean, I don't want to say broken, because he's broken, but yeah, so if you're going to pick a hero and Luke is available, I strongly recommend Luke. However much I hate seeing him when I'm playing as the Empire, because he's a pain to deal with, Luke is definitely the way to go when you're playing as the Rebels. So that's probably going to do it for this video. I think I'm just going to let the footage roll out of Luke, and I guess I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.